last episode, I talked about keeping snow and ice off your bird feeders and also keeping an eye on how much water gets onto your bird feeders. And about a year or so ago, I showed you how you can attach aluminum pipe plates or pizza trays right above your feeders to keep all that precipitation off your bird feeders. Well, Lynn Leduc tried that, and she said that hers were flopping about too much in the wind and making too much noise. So she tried something else, and she shared her ideas with us. So I'm just passing it on. So basically what she did is that she bought a couple of inexpensive salad bowls like these ones. I think she went to a dollar store to get them. And then she drilled a hole through the bottom of her salad bowls and then used a zip tie like this to thread it through the hole, and then you attach your feeder right here. So I've already prepared one. As you can see, it's hanging here. On this one, I actually closed the zip tie, and I'm going to use an S-hook like this. I will put it here, and then my feeder will hang off an S-hook like this, right? But if you don't have any S-hooks handy like this one, you can actually take a zip tie and thread it directly through your feeder hanger. Here I have a Squirrel Buster Standard, so it's pretty easy like that. And then your feeder will hang like this. So this one's already to go. So S-hook is here. Now I'm putting the hanger on my Squirrel Buster Standard. And I'll just attach it to the S-hook like this. And then, of course, the wider your salad bowl is, the more protection your bird feeder will get, from the rain and from the snow. And here's some of Lynn's pictures. Enjoy it. Sandra Seeley from Maryland is wondering if she should, or if there is a way to dissuade a raven from visiting her backyard. It's been bringing food and washing it in her bird bath, and she's worried that it's also been scaring her songbirds.
Hi, Sandra. I'm not certain if you're still getting a certain black-feathered guest in the form of a common raven coming into your yard, but personally, I think you're very fortunate to have or have had such an illustrious bird, arguably the smartest bird on the planet, use your place as a kitchen. First, let's address its diet. You're completely correct in stating that ravens are omnivorous. They eat live meat, eggs, insects, grains, fruit, garbage, carrion, and poutine. I'm just kidding about that last item, but if they could find it, they'd undoubtedly love it as much as I do. Ravens attack pigeons and eider ducks and even grab young from the nest of pigeons and flickers. They commonly use their bills to knock pistachio nuts from trees for later consumption. Captive birds have been observed using smell to find fish, and based on personal experience, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that some future study might demonstrate that a raven can smell the blood and/or offal of a hunter-killed carcass. Now to your water-dipping food preparation. Surprisingly, despite those massive beaks which can kill a small animal, they're not easily able to tear open the skin of a rabbit, deer, or squirrel carcass. Interestingly though, I could not find any mention of ravens dipping their food in water to soften it, like crows commonly do, not even in that ultimate authority, the species account in Birds of the World produced by the Cornell Laboratory of Ornithology. But why would one not expect the closely related smart ravens to figure that out too? As for dissuading the raven from your yard, the obvious thing to do is to take away the access to the bath for a temporary period. But keep in mind that the bird would not likely have any impact on your songbirds other than killing one stunned by a window or mauled by a cat. It is with great sadness that I announce the demise of an icon in the world of North American birdwatching. On December 22nd, 2021, the magazine known as Birdwatcher's Digest, a periodical that had lasted through 4 decades, closed its doors forever. Wendy Clark, the owner, had bent over backwards in Herculean attempts to keep the magazine afloat, but the ongoing pandemic was ultimately the last straw. Advertising money was drying up from COVID-struck companies, and the magazine began to falter badly. Based in Marietta, Ohio, and founded by the Thompson family in 1978, the publication was somewhat modeled after the world-renowned Reader's Digest, and it rose to a very high prominence among wild bird lovers in North America. Sadly, the loss of the magazine was the last in a series of tragedies, the first being the shocking loss of Bill Thompson III to cancer in March 2019. Shortly thereafter, Elsa, the wife of Bill Sr. and the family matriarch, lost her life in a house fire. And if that was not enough, Andy, the brother of Bill, died of a heart attack a year later. The extinction of Birdwatcher's Digest was personally painful for me too. Near as I can remember, back around 1999, Bill Thompson III was looking for a replacement for the Stokes to write a column on bird behavior, and he found me. At one point, I was writing no less than 4 bi-monthly columns for the magazine and its associated newsletter. I'm so grateful to the Thompson family, may they rest in peace, and to Wendy Clark and my editor Don Hewitt for allowing me to write about what I love. My heartfelt thoughts go to them, to all of the former staff, to all of the past contributors, and of course to the thousands upon thousands of folks who enjoyed reading Birdwatcher's Digest over all those years.
This year we're taking some segments out and we're adding a new one, the bird alphabet. We will be covering the most common North American birds and sharing some of the experiences that we've had with those birds. So today is A for American robins. Well, American robins are surely one of the most common birds here in North America. I can just imagine those first European settlers when they arrived here in North America with everything looking so different and so green and wild. And then they saw this bird and its breast looked so similar to their European robin, so naturally they called that bird an American robin, even though it's actually almost double the size of the original robin. At first, it appears that both male and female American robins look the same, but if you look closer, male American robins have a really dark, almost black head and mantle, and female American robins have really light gray head and mantle. So pay close attention next time you see an American robin. Here in Quebec and in most of Canada, American robins arrive for their breeding season in April and stay until about mid-October. In most of the US, they stay year-round. American robins belong to the thrush family. I call them the singing family, veeries and bluebirds and other thrushes. For me, basically, summers are unmated robins starting to sing about 2:30 in the morning, or sitting atop of my neighbor's white pine and singing until it's way dark at night. But the songs are so beautiful, I actually have a hard time telling them to shut it off. Just like many birds, American robins change their diet throughout the year. Well, some scientists actually say that we humans should do the same thing. Anyway, in the spring and summer, American robins feed on worms, and then they switch to fruit and berries in the fall and winter. So if you want to attract these birds to your backyard, put out dried or live mealworms in the spring and summer, and then plant some berry plants, bushes and trees on your property to have them visit you in the fall or throughout the winter, depending on where you are. Another great way to attract them to your backyard is to provide water. Well, actually, our municipal road has so many indentations that I find robins splashing in the puddles more than using my bird baths. It's the male American robins that arrive at the breeding grounds first, but it's actually females that build a nest, and it can take them up to 2 weeks if there isn't much mud around that time of the year. The earliest egg laying was recorded in mid-April, but their peak season is actually beginning of June and July. On average, they have 2 successful broods. Sometimes they attempt a third one, but it always fails. It seems like American robins build their nest just about anywhere, but actually for their first nest, they prefer thick evergreens. I found their nest, actually females sitting on their eggs around our community center where my son plays soccer in the summer. So females incubate eggs. They don't get any help from the fathers, though the boys do step in and help out with feeding the young. The baby birds, the baby robins, get about 35 to 40 feedings per day, and the whiniest ones get fed the most. They fledge at 13 days old, but the parents are always close by. So when you see a baby robin on the ground, most likely it's already a fledgling and the parents are still taking care of it. Alright, we're introducing a couple of changes in our photo contest. Our judges are asking for a little bit more time to make their choices because your photos have become so competitive. So now, instead of closing the photo contest on a Wednesday, we will be shutting it down on a Monday. And then, if you've taken the first place in our photo contest, we're asking you not to participate for the rest of the year to give others a chance. And now, let's check out the top 5 of the quail, grouse, pheasants, and turkeys photo contest. Here's the third place, the second place, and the grand prize winner. Congratulations, everybody. While February is all about love, so the theme is true love. Well, it's time to say goodbye. Let me know how it goes with homemade weather guards. And again, please remember our photo contest will be closing on a Monday instead of a Wednesday. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in 2 weeks.